Because nobody's going to be excited about your life for you. You're the only one who will do that for yourself. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adeze, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you lessons from this book that will make you a much happier person than you are right now. So stay tuned. So this book was given to me by a friend in 2020. It was written here, and I've read this book 3 times now. The third one is just for this summary. I've read it personally twice. I've recommended this book to at least 5 people on my Insta stories, and I've also given my copy to a very close friend of mine, and she has read it as well. So that's how much I feel the value of this book is. Okay, what you'll be getting from this video are lessons from the book and also sort of a summary of the book. And I'm sure by the end of this video you would also know if picking this book from a shelf and reading for yourself is worth it. Just to give proper credit, the book was written by 2 good friends. They are psychologists or therapists, I'm not so sure. Their names are Hector, Gracia and Francesc Miralles. So the concept of this book came from 2 friends who have written so many research work on life and the concept of living, coming together to collaborate and do a research on the meaning of life. So what's the meaning of life? Is the point just to live longer, or should I seek for higher purpose? So basically that question is what brought about the whole book, the whole research, and also the name of the book, Ikigai. So as is written here, Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life. I'll be sharing 5 points from this book that summarize all the chapters here. So Ikigai basically is the art of living and how much meaning you give to life, how much happiness you get from life. I'm going to be setting a clearer picture of what is written here for you to get the concept of Ikigai. So the first point on how to live a meaningful life and a happy life is to find purpose. Finding purpose, a lot of the time it has been explained with so much jargons that it becomes as if it's meant for a selected few. Not to sound cliche, everyone has their purpose. So here's the thing, to finding purpose you have to be willing to explore all the desires that have stuck with you or the skills that you've shown a lot of interest in over time. You have to explore them, try them out and see what sticks. Now you might fail at some might just be good enough for you to have them as just a hobby. Your interest also would change, would evolve, would take different turns as you try. But the most important thing is that you're resilient. You're not giving up at every failed attempt, and there's still a lot of commitment to making it work. You get to the point where you already know that some are completely dead ends and you should move on, but just know that the idea of purpose comes from something that you do or you're consistently doing that gives you real satisfaction and happiness and a lot of meaning as well. So the idea here is to pick up skills that interest you or that you've been dying to learn for the longest time. Just be sure that you would evolve with it. Some life-changing events can make you shift focus entirely. A lot of things would happen, but you would find more purpose when you keep going at things that give you happiness, part-time or full-time. So we can officially say that the first tip to becoming a happier person is to take yourself seriously, take your interests seriously, and go get the skills that you need to fully become efficient or great at those skills and those interests and those desires. Okay, the second one here is people. Doing the research for the book, the authors had to explore the blue zones. Blue zones are areas or regions in the world where people live the longest, and one of the blue zones they explored was an island in Japan, and what they learned from those people is their communal way of life. They celebrate each other and they just maintain absolutely great friendships. They work a lot as a team, and that helps really boost their self-esteem. So taking it back to you reading this book or getting this summary, what I would give you from the book is that for a more meaningful life you have to have great friendships, you have to nurture great relationships, you have to be helpful to other people, build broad circle of friends or friendships in the same areas or different interest areas that you have. So another thing they noticed, positive mental attitude or their positive attitude. They had high degree of emotional intelligence, living outside of themselves and not making everything, about them. Then when it came to romantic relationships, partners have been found to have existing active lives outside of their partner in such a way that their happiness is not dependent on their relationship with their partner. The meaning they give to their lives are from within and from the activities that they do and interests that they have, not just their partners, So when the relationship might not be working, they are still happy people to a certain degree. So I've talked about finding your purpose. I've talked about your relationship with people and your relationship with your partner. So the third lesson here for you to understand the chain, because a complete circle, is your activities. First of all, the activities that make up your life should not 100% be about money. It shouldn't be about how to pay bills. It shouldn't be about hustling all the time. I know everybody's adulting, but you have to take a break. The people who live the longest take the most break. They understand the concept of rest and they respect their bodies as well. Also, I want to point out that when you find yourself always living a hurried life, always in a hurry, it's just a reminder for you to slow down. As far as you're alive, you can always get onto that task. So let's get back to the points from the research. It's advised to live in the moment, not to always be drowned in what can I get from every situation. Sometimes just live and enjoy every moment without having to want to seek productivity all the time. Do things that you enjoy and try to get on new skills every now and then. Because the thing about your brain is that when you pick up a new skill and you've become relatively good at it, your brain stops to see that as an activity but more of an habit. So for example, if you're good at driving, you'll see that over time everything required for you to move from point A to B, you do not necessarily need a reminder because it's already a habit. So that's what it's like when you have mastered just one skill and you're still riding on that one skill without trying to seek for improvements, without trying to add on to what you know. Your brain becomes almost dormant. And the longest living people on earth, and from research, the more active your brain is, the more your chances of living, longer. This set of people avoid death, they lived within their means, they reconnect with nature, and they enjoy a state of flow. So the word flow is a state where you are actively enjoying what you're doing and you can go on and on doing that same particular task without wanting to pause. At different points in our lives, we've experienced that state, maybe doing an assignment or a project and you just want to keep going because you are constantly enjoying every progress that you make there. To achieve that state, first of all, you would need to block off social media. You would need to bulk task. Bulk tasking is doing certain sets of tasks at mapped out time frames. So for example, you can just say, I'm going to check my mail from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. instead of checking your mail every time you get a notification, to achieve the state of flow. So finding purpose, growing your relationship with people and your partner, and then the activities that you do that give you a certain levels of satisfaction is already gearing you up towards happiness. Let's take the next point. The next one here is mindset. It goes without saying, positive mindset, positive outlook to life would definitely put you ahead mentally, reduce the level of stress that you would experience as compared to your peers. When you have the understanding that what's the worst that can happen when I take up that new skill, when I start this new project, when I do something different from what you're doing in your comfort zone, when you have that constant thought in your head that what's the worst that can happen, and really you would see that the fear of starting afresh, starting a new project starts to depreciate, and you are ready and willing to just go after what truly makes you happy. On the other hand of things, knowing that everything will be fine and having really strong emotional resilience when things aren't going your way would definitely keep you afloat when things are not going according to plan. Now that you've sorted out your purpose, your relationship with friends, family, and your partner, and the activities you do are more from within, and you're now experiencing state of flow from time to time, your mindset is right, and when things are not working, you still have much appreciation for life, and you have a positive outlook to your future. The last 1 year is your diet. Yes, the people who lived the longest in the blue zones have a specific diet. I would not shove down their diet ideologies down your throat, but you know that it's the healthier eating lifestyles that wins. Before I talk about some diet principles, let me just say this. From research, they found out that meditation really helps heal your emotions. Imagine you being anxious or experiencing anxiety for weeks long, days long, and all you have to do is just sit down still and block out all your thoughts and just hear your breathing, and how that just helps relieve the feeling of tension. That's one. The other one is the exercise. The people who live the longest are not pumping the machines in the gym. While that is good to build stamina, the people who live the longest just have a principle of making sure they are active 30 minutes every day, taking a walk, strolling, jogging, just the little ones, but staying consistent at it. The idea is just bare minimum and consistency, just to keep your heart rate fine. Back to diet. So the Japanese have a tradition where they eat in smaller bowls. So the meals are served in large trays, and the people sit around the table and just eat from really small bowls. So with that idea, by the time you're having your second round or your third round, you're already knowing that you should stop. The second thing is they eat till they're 80% full. You shouldn't eat till you're 100% full and you're tired just because you've eaten. I'm laughing because this one definitely speaks to me. So just eating smaller portions and not eating till you're full can always help you stay light all through the day. Another thing they found out is that the people who live the longest avoid sugar. So if there is any form of sugar they are taking, it comes from plants like the sugar cane. They take a lot of foods with antioxidants that can help remove toxins from their bodies. Most of the time they stay away from alcohol and also meat, so they are mostly vegan. So let's bring this back home and make a complete circle for happiness. At the end of this video, what you should be doing now is taking note of the things that you love to do or the things that you currently enjoy around what you do at the moment, and try to explore opportunities within that area. So after that, you're taking note of the friends that you currently have and your relationship with them and what you're going to do to improve those relationships. Be open and welcoming to new people, and while you explore those new skills, be looking out for the state of flow by being hyper focused in one activity at a time. The idea of multitasking is very debatable as an effective way to accomplish anything. And while doing that, you're making sure that your attitude is positive, the way you show up to life and the way you show up to things, they're more exciting than you were before, because nobody's going to be excited about your life for you. You're the only one who will do that for yourself. And lastly, when it comes to your diet, looking out for what you're allergic to and staying away from them. But of course, there are some foods that make you healthier than others, so paying attention to them is also helpful. I like to believe that my summary of this book has given you some light to happiness. To get this book, there's a link in the description. No, I'm not getting paid for that. That can help you get the book and start nurturing yourself for happiness. I'd like to also say this small channel of mine is almost at 8,000 views. I would have waited for it to be 10,000 views for me to say, oh wow, we just hit a milestone. But taking my own advice, I'll be celebrating every small win. And 8k views just means that you keep coming back to watch my new content every other week. I'd like to appreciate you for joining me in this journey. And if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button so that we can always catch up. And I'll be so glad to see you in my next video. Bye for now.